Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we are working on the Dodge Dakota RT. This is Jason's truck, and we're going to be continuing the install from the heads and cam. So if you guys are just tuning into the channel, or you guys haven't watched the last few videos, check them out. I'll link them above here and down in the description again below, so you guys can get caught up to speed on the build. So I was waiting on push rods. They actually did just show up. Kind of a little bit of a few things. I've been trying to chip away at this. I have been working part-time during the week as well, so kind of been trying to tackle both. And in the evenings, I got a few things done. So I'm gonna cut to some footage where I messed with the timing cover to get that thing prepped up. So I'll show you guys that now. So here's the front timing cover. I just finished degreasing it. If you guys haven't used Castrol Super Clean, I should have showed you guys actually. Probably better if I just showed you what it is. This stuff does miracles. So see this Castrol Super Clean? I used that to get that cover looking as good as I just did. If you guys saw it before, it was just caked with all sorts of nasty stuff. So most people probably be pretty happy with the way that looks. I did show you guys, and I'll put it up on the screen here, this was all just full of like rust and corrosion. So I used a wire brush and cleaned up inside of here, so it cleaned up good. And then I have a brand new water pump we're going to be putting on here, a Gates water pump, but I'm not going to be doing that just yet. Right now I'm actually about to paint this. If you guys saw on my truck, I can't really show you because I guess I can, but it's out there, but just take my word for it. I painted this with aluminum paint. I'll grab that can right now, and it will make this cover look like better than new. So trust me on that. I'll show you the paint. You guys can see what it looks like now. This is mostly the part you're going to see is on the top, so you can kind of see it's a little bit yellowed and discolored on the top. So wait till you guys see what this looks like with this paint. I'll show you guys right now. And it's actually a couple days later. It's actually Friday, so the push rods showed up. I'll show you guys that in a second, but here's what our timing cover looks like after being painted. So I actually got my dirty hands on here, but I promise it does wipe off. So I really like the way this came out, and again, I will link this product down in the description so you guys can check it out, the paint that I used to make it come out like that. So that's that. I gotta just take off the tape here, and I got to scrape off all the old gaskets for where the water pump goes so that that's ready. I already cleaned off the other surface, so I've already scraped that all with a flat blade, and I also did the block. And I got a brand new water pump, which this was really reasonable, you guys. I got it off Amazon Prime. It was like $44, which I thought was pretty good. So this is a Gates unit, so good unit. Also came with one of these new heater hose, whatever you want to call this, the attachment for the heater hose that goes into the side, and it came with a gasket and the O-ring for the heater hose. So those are notorious. All three of the engines that I've seen so far, Jason's truck, my old engine, and the new engine, it gets all rusty in there, as you can see. So not a bad idea to, you know, pick up one of those. I think that's probably the next thing I'll do on mine eventually, but my water pump works fine. So we'll get a brand new water pump on this thing. So let me get these all cleaned up, and then I'm gonna throw the timing cover back on this engine. We'll see how far we get. So once the timing cover goes on, I can probably put the water pump on, button that stuff up, and then we can work on the distributor as well, and we'll see how far we go. Alright guys, so I got that all scraped off, and then I just used a little bit of this emery cloth just to kind of clean it up so it's all smooth. I know it kind of looks a little bit whatever, but it is smooth, I promise you. And I'm going to take out the front main seal, and I have the Felpro kit, so I'll also link down in the description for you guys if you want to check it out. It comes with a timing cover. It's going to come with a new seal for the crank, and it's also going to come with the water pump gasket. So I don't know if I'm going to use this one or that one. It kind of doesn't really make a difference. I'm sure they're both good, but our front timing cover gasket is in here too. So in addition to that, even though that should seal it, I don't want to take it off, so I'm also going to be using the right stuff. If you guys haven't tried this or heard me bragging about it yet, definitely pick yourself some of this up. It is incredible stuff, you guys. It is guaranteed to not leak, so we definitely don't want to be taking this off again. So I'm going to be putting this stuff on, just a film of it on both sides of that gasket for the front cover, but you guys will see me doing that in a second. Let me pop this out of here, and I'll get this new one in. So let's do that. All right, front seal is out, like so. Okay, it's kind of overkill, but like I said, I don't want to have any leaks, so I'm gonna just put a smear of it around the outside of this. That's pretty much what this red coating is for, but it's not gonna hurt, so I'm gonna put a smear of the right stuff around the outside of this and then install my seal. And there you have it, folks. We got the new seal in, so it doesn't sit flush, just so you guys know. I think I mentioned that in the last video when we did this. It does sit kind of up. It has a lip on the inside that it sits on. So we're all sealed up here, and now I can go ahead and I can put this on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the right stuff on the block, put the gasket on, put the right stuff on the other side, and then we'll put this on. Oh, also, I'm gonna put it on the bottom here where it meets the oil pan as well. So definitely crucial to put that there and make sure all your surfaces are clean, dry, and ready to go. Okay guys, so I just want to tell you quick, I'm pretty much halfway through or most of the way through the front timing cover and the water pump, but some of these holes do go through into the cover. So you'll notice on the factory bolts, see this white, well at this point powder on some of the bolts. I'm going ahead and I'm putting the right stuff on it because these are the bolts that go through the cover. So if you want, you could probably wire wheel them or something, but I'm just putting a bit more sealant on them so that they're not going to leak. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. All right, so right now I'm torquing the two bolts that go into the oil pan first. I haven't tightened any of the bolts that go on the front cover or my water pump bolts. I just wanted to make sure everything was loosely fitted in and that my gasket was all set. So these are 215 inch-pounds for the oil pan bolts. So those are torqued down, so that means that that's pulled down, and now I can pull the cover into the actual front. I didn't want to tighten these bolts that go into the front of the engine, because if I tighten those down, then it's not going to allow me to suck the cover down as much as it needs to seal on the bottom here. So that's why I wanted to do those first, and now we'll pull it all the way tight to the engine. And the front timing cover and water pump bolts are all 30 foot-pounds, so we'll go ahead and get that done. Okay, so everything's on, tight, torqued. I also threw on this little cooler nonsense and just those little clips that hold the transmission lines and all that. And I just hung the power steering bracket for now. I haven't tightened it yet because I'm not sure if the headers are going to be able to get in or whether it's easier to take it off, but I just wanted to put it there. And now I'm going to insert this thing, just this heater hose neck. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in this O-ring. It'll end up dissipating pretty quickly, and then I'll slide this guy right in here so she's ready to go as well. Okay, next up, I'm gonna throw on the harmonic balancer. I just gave it a quick spray of black paint since these are not painted and it was just rust color. So not a huge deal, but might as well since it's off, so let's throw this thing on. Okay, I also put a bit of oil on this too, just to help it go past our new seal here. So just keep that in mind when you guys go to do this too. All right, the OCD in me had to go back and paint the washer, so I didn't paint the bolt because it's just gonna come right off, but I did paint the washer on it. You're never gonna see any of this once the pulley's on, but whatever, let's go. All right guys, so I've got the harmonic balancer on. I haven't torqued it just yet. I just kind of sucked it in and whatnot because I don't have any spark plugs in it, so there's no compression in it, so this thing's just gonna zip right over. And I don't really want all my rotating assembly flying all over the place right now until we're done. So I set it at top dead center here. And then back here, I'm just double checking my distributor. So if you guys watched the last video, or it might have been 2 videos ago, but regardless, I did show it. You're going to, when you put that distributor gear back in, or oil pump gear, you're gonna have to orientate it so that it's not quite perfectly straight, but a little bit this way. So, and what that's gonna do is gonna allow this here to line up with the mark there. Let me get a light so I can kind of show you guys. You'll have to excuse my light. It's a cell phone light, but it works. Okay, so see that there? The actual distributor lines up with this mark here. So what you're gonna have to do is get it to where it can line up. There, it's probably a better way of showing you. So see how it's lining straight up with this little mark right there? So that lines up perfectly there. And the other thing you wanna make sure is, see your hold down bolt is gonna go right there. And there's an indent on the bottom there. If I can get my camera in there. On the bottom of the distributor, there's an indent there, and I'll show you just in a second. Because there's a little tooth, I gotta still clean this, but there's a little tooth in the middle of the hold down bolt. So you wanna be pretty centered in that. So it doesn't, as long as when you're at top dead center over there on the front, that lines up, you'll be good enough to get it started, and then we can do the fuel sync afterwards. Another thing that I have here, I'll show you guys everything I have here. I'm gonna wrap up this video. Here is the Hughes air gap, you guys. So I'm gonna get this all ready. It's already, you probably saw on my phone if you guys were looking at my phone there, it's already pretty much 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna wrap it up today. I've had a long day, honestly. And then we'll get to this in the morning. And that'll be for the next video. And I also have our push rods here. So I've got Comp Cam's push rods that we measured, and we had to get these ordered. So some guys were asking me, you know, why don't you have the correct length push rods? Well, since we're doing, you know, a build that's, you know, we're changing the heads, or changing the head gaskets, all that stuff, we're putting 1.7s in. You have to assemble the engine and then check for push rod length, and you have to make sure that you have the proper geometry here and that it's pressing on the center portion of your actual valve. So I'll show you guys this in the next video, but see right there, we put black marker on here and we operated the rocker to make sure that we are getting our depression and it's operating on the center of the valve. You don't want it to be riding on the bottom or the top. You want it to be pressing right in the middle as close as possible, because otherwise you'll end up wearing out your valve guides and stuff if you're pressing on the side of the valve every single time. So that's why you do that. And when the rocker arm goes up, the shorter these push rods are, the higher it's gonna sit. So it's gonna effectively shorten this length. So if this rocks up and you have shorter push rods, you're gonna be sitting on the top half of your valve. If you have longer push rods, you're gonna be working on the bottom half, because this is gonna get longer. So that's just something to consider, and that's why we had to order these. And I have one in here. It looks like we're gonna be good. I'm gonna assemble all that in the next video, because like I said, I'm beat right now, and we're in a pretty good situation and position here. So push rods, and I did get one of these. I'll link this in the description for you guys below. It's like $1 off Amazon, which is awesome. So you don't have to replace the whole distributor. I did this on my other one because it was puking, so you just pull this out and pop it on. So I'll do that quickly for you guys and we'll wrap this video up. Okay, so I'm just gonna yank my distributor. I was just testing everything out, making sure it was all lined. So you can see this, hopefully you can see it. This O-ring is just completely flattened. So let me get a pick, we'll pop it out and put that new one on. All right, so we got the old hard one out of there, and this is square, you guys. It's supposed to be an O-ring. Put this one on. There we go, nice soft O-ring, and I can throw this back in. I'll put the hold down bolt on it tomorrow once we finalize everything, but this can go back in here. There she is. So it's got a nice snug fit with the new O-ring. Now that's not gonna leak either. All right guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And even if you are subscribed, double check that you have that bell turned on so you're notified of all the latest videos. I'm hoping that we should have this thing running tomorrow, so you guys will probably see the video the next day after. So, or maybe I'll go live, we'll see. But either way, we're getting pretty close, you guys. So I'm excited. We're gonna fire it up and then we'll be able to move it around. Lots of tuning to come, but we also, before we start driving the thing, we gotta get it on the road and also have to do a bunch of suspension work. So still a lot on the way on this truck. So make sure you subscribe. See you guys in the next video.